So, continuing on our fun theme of princesses that probably deserve to die a little bit. Actually, surprisingly, one of the princesses that I hate most in the Disney canon, but I love the most, or at least I have the most sympathy for in the fairy tale canon, is Sleeping Beauty. Sleeping Beauty is just screwed from the moment she's born. And it's really her parents' fault, right? They don't set out the correct setting place for the last fairy, and that fairy's pissed off. She's not an evil fairy. She just has her pride. That's all she's saying. She just deserved an invitation. And she was forgotten, and that's sad. That's sad. So she curses Sleeping Beauty to die. Another fairy overrides the curse and allows her to live. In different cultures, it's different. In one culture, she's playing a game. She's trying to win a rose. And they decide the contest to win the rose is to jump over the rose they found. It's like a perfect rose, and to win it, you have to jump over it without knocking off a petal, which would de-perfect the rose, I would think, in the course of the competition. But the Sleeping Beauty character does it, but she knocks off one petal, and she sneakily swallows the petal so her friends don't see it, and it makes her pregnant, and her parents freak out. But in the Italian version, the Sun, Moon, and Something version, she falls asleep, and this is where her troubles really begin. I mean, it's not her fault she falls asleep. She's never done anything to anyone. She's kind of been led by the nose or by people manipulating her, or she's been a victim of, various bad luck, basically. But in this particular version, she falls asleep, and she doesn't wake up from being kissed. She wakes up from her children that she has born to her prince while in a coma, suckling at her, trying to find her nipples. This is called rape, generally. Also necrophilia. Not going to judge. Sleeping Beauty is really the one most poorly served by Disney, because in terms of princesses who need rescuing, she legitimately needs rescuing, arguably even after the story ends, because she's had twins. She's gone through pregnancy while in a coma. But I'm kind of jumping over between the tail types too, like the rose thing and the casket, the crystal caskets, and there's all these really disparate ways that she falls asleep or she's found. There's one where her brother keeps her body in these like 7 crystal caskets, and he goes in to this room every day to see her, and his wife, she doesn't know what the hell is happening, why she's not allowed into this one room. And it could be a Bluebeard type thing. It could be, whatever. Something's wrong. And she goes in and she finds this girl in this casket, and she decides her brother had another girlfriend or something, or that he's keeping her body. And she opens the caskets to look at her more closely, and the girl wakes up, and she assumes that she doesn't know what she assumes, but she basically starts abusing the girl and takes her on as a servant and treats her like, hands her to the abusive scullery maid, and the girl gets her face blackened every day with beatings. And brother never recognizes that it's his little sister in this household, I guess, or he's away a lot or something. And, but yeah, generally Sleeping Beauty is legitimately always the victim of everything that happens. She's not really the cause of anything, and it makes her the most passive of the passive princesses, but it also makes her, to me, the most tragic, because in almost every culture where she's talked about, she's screwed by everybody around her. And it's arguable whether the prince saves her. The only one where I know that she's not a victim, and it's actually kind of awesome, is there's an Irish one where she goes into a coma. Her husband, she's already married, remarries. And when she wakes up from the coma, the new wife steps down. She's like, cool, sorry. I thought you were, and just steps aside, and they become friends, and it's all good. And that one's amazing. But a lot of Irish tales are just that slightly, not to brag, but my people are a little bit better at telling stories than now. It's, but it comes down to taste, I guess. I mean, some people really take offense at the Sleeping Beauty story, and I get that. I get the idea, but really Snow White to me is the more offensive of the two, of the sleeping princesses that need rescuing. Cinderella is slightly less offensive, except for the fact that, that lesson that if you have pretty enough clothes or, fancy enough things, then people will like you more, even if they're secret. Um, that kind of thing is more grating to me than the the need for Sleeping Beauty to be rescued by someone, because we all need help sometimes. Um, we all need someone to come along and help us out. We do what we can on our own. But if you're a princess who's been cursed from birth, and your parents have just kept that from you and never told you, hey, don't touch those sharp stabby things, don't just gonna throw that out there, then you know what happens to you after that is not you know is only so much within your control once you've been in a coma for 20 to 100 years.